So there used to be a time when I made a lot of lists. To-do lists, work I had to get done, general stuff. It's not a thing anymore. However, there is a list that I think we're all deeply embracing, which is our kind of mental health, procrastination, boredom, quarantine lists. And so that's what I'm going to do in this video. Eric and I will be doing one each. This is my edition of the quarantine lists, or top 5. I don't know what I'm going to call this thing. We've got a bunch of categories and we're gonna name our top 5 in each category. The idea being that maybe it sparks something outside of your world and you kind of go, oh, I haven't seen that film, and maybe it brings you a little bit of joy or reprieve from what we're all dealing with right now. Just get my list book back. So our first category is movies. It's kind of impossible for me to do a top 5 of movies. Massive movie fan, and there's just a bunch of them. I kind of say that like my movies are on like a top shelf, and there's like probably like 100 movies on my top shelf. But anyway, for the purpose of sticking to this task, I've divided them into kind of categories. So my favorite action film, the Kill Bill pair. As you can see, I've been a fan for a long time because I have the DVD. Actually, I think I first watched this on VHS because I wasn't old enough to go and see it in the cinemas when it came out. I won't go through all the lists because that will get really boring, but you can see them here. Of note, I do want to point out is Jojo Rabbit. It is basically the film I wish I wrote. So that's the end of my career. TV shows. After writing this list, I realized I'd actually left off my favorite TV show. Again, I have the DVD of Black Books, so add that to the list. Just great. Dylan Moran's stand-up is also great. He's the guy that... Anyway. Books. Birds. I tell you what, I'm so used to filming outdoors, as you know, and birds and stuff don't normally bother me, but suddenly as soon as you come inside, they're so loud. So, books. First two are really great for kind of understanding like how we think and how humanity has developed. But also want to point out this one, The Spy and the Traitor. This has probably one of the most page-turning endings. It's a true story. It's about a spy getting out of Russia during the Cold War, and how they get him out is like, I don't know, it's awesome. I actually looked up the movie rights for it, so if anyone knows who has the movie rights for this, I would like to direct this one day. So YouTube list, obviously this one is, I hope that's where I write it. But anyway, our channel is clearly what you should be spending all of your time on. Socially distant physical exercise. This one is being modified by the day. Recently I was enjoying tennis and golf because they were quite socially distant sports. But just as of yesterday in Australia, where I am right now, golf clubs, sports clubs have shut. So that's goodbye to tennis and golf clubs. So, but basically I'm falling back on running daily, walking my dog, and shadowboxing because... next up is music. This is as difficult as films is to narrow down, but these are just a few random highlights. I've been running to this playlist here. Also, been getting back into the piano, so any kind of piano belter is what I'm really enjoying. Podcasts. So I mentioned, well, I didn't mention it, I wrote it, but one of the TV shows on my list was Chernobyl. There's a podcast about how they wrote Chernobyl and about Chernobyl in general. It's one of the best podcasts I've listened to recently. If you're really digging my Australian accent, then I can highly recommend Case File. I cannot watch Case File before bed though. I have way too an active imagination and I think I'm gonna get murdered in my sleep. Games. Leaning heavily into this activity recently. A family favorite of ours is Codenames. #1 party game. Yep, that's what it says. Also, the winner of the Spiel des Jahres, clearly the Oscar of games. So we threw this category in just because it's pretty easy to slip into it's all gone to shit. So very, very grateful for family and friends at the top of the list there. And obviously the internet, so that I can provide you this. On that note, before we get to the last category, we are trying to turn our YouTube channel into a an online community, a space where you can drop in and comment. We have always replied to all of our comments, so we believe that we have a very strong community. We know a lot of our fans by name and we reply to them. We have little conversations in the comment section. So we invite you to that community. Specifically for this video, if you want to pick a category and share your top 5, or share your top 1 in each one of these categories, or just go nuts and share your list of whatever. We'd love to hear from you, and I'd like to get some suggestions outside of my own list as well. So on that note, subscribe and comment. And here's our last category, quotes and fun facts. We're gonna be dropping some of our favorite quotes throughout our social media because they're a little bit hard to write all over here. But one I will leave you with, which is from my favorite TV show that I left off the favorite TV show list, is a quote from Bernard Black.
The older the wine is, the gooder it is.